Our crosshair could be here right now. And then on the next angle clear, I speed it up again. We should be clearing this corner here, but we're not. We're opting for this next one here. The concept is, if you're further away, the distance that your peak takes you is less relative to the angle. So you inherently have to clear more thoroughly. Whereas if you're closer, you clear more angles with one strafe, right? Like if I'm going one strafe here, I end up opening up a lot more, which is why it's also harder to slice angles, but it's also why it's more acceptable to pre-aim deeper. Let's kind of just revisit in terms of recap what the goals were last time and then where we're at this week. So last time we had the player breakdown 2, which the main focus was kind of re-understanding on where we were at as a player, and then trying to isolate one of the main things, which was the actual pre-aim and scaling. And the reason why we wanted to go about it using the new agent is because we had a lot of old habits on the recon initiator that I felt like it could be a little bit better to rewrite our whole play on an agent that we didn't really have too much experience in. So we started off with the Vice to isolate the mechs training. What I'm curious on specifically is, how did you feel from the mechanical front? Like, do you think that with the switch to the Clove, you were able to kind of allocate a bit more of your mental stack on clearing angles properly, like your gun duels being a bit more clean? Is that something that you were able to notice at all?
Yeah, I would say for sure. I also changed my sensitivity, which I feel like I have a lot more control. And I'd been avoiding doing this because when I first started playing, I was like, I was like, I did not feel comfortable aiming with my arm at all. But now it's a lot more comfortable. So I changed my sensitivity kind of drastically. So I'm still kind of getting used to that, but it feels better in more scenarios now.
Gotcha. That's kind of the lens I want to take a look at this Clove game in particular for today. I really want to make sure we are mechanically sound in terms of the fundamentals, because obviously last session we were going through those drills and trying to clean that up a little bit. So I'm hoping that looks better today. At least that's what I'm going to be looking for. It probably will be a bit more clear on how the implementation is for attack, but I think it'll still be important to take a look at defense. So with that said, let's hop into it. And like I said, I'll mainly be looking at the actual gunfights here rather than the macro specific. We do play the fast rotate. Let's see if we get any gun duels here. Yes, we get a couple here. Let's go back on this. So as we're coming up here, we are pre-aiming short, which is nice. Then we come back here. What we're doing when we're kind of going into this fight is just picking our mouse quite a bit and then resetting and going into the next angle instead of tracing, which is a conversation I wanted to bring up. But you'll see crosshair in the box pretty much the whole time, and we kind of keep pulling our crosshair deeper and deeper into the box, prioritizing a hardcore pre-aim, which ends up being the correct assumption, given that he isn't actually swinging us. He ends up kind of just walking in a straight line here. If he was potentially swinging left, we could have been caught off a little bit, but we do end up getting the kill, which is great. This is a good segue into the conversation on when you should reset your mouse and pre-aim, and when should you trace the edge. And I have a couple clips here that should be relevant. What I want to point out here is when you see him navigating around the map, he will reset his mouse a lot, so he doesn't really trace the edge. So he's kind of doing what we did here, crosshair in the wall, peek out, and then now notice how as he's coming around the smoke, he's kind of doing those little pre-aims, right? He traces it for a second, does those pre-aims, and then you'll see more specifically on the gen fight in a second. Right here, noted. Okay, so I'll just let it play first. Notice how he's pushing into gen. He's kind of doing what we did, where we're pre-aiming into the wall, and then if he gets peeked, he's just adjusting. Objectively, I think this is incorrect, but it works out well for him because he's getting to aim in his comfort position here. And then he flicks back over, and then you'll see same thing, aim hard. So Zekin's a hard pre-aimer, he doesn't really trace. Conceptually, hopefully this is coming across, but we have two options here when you scale on an angle. You can pre-aim and kind of reset as you pre-aim, or you can trace the edge. And I want to highlight this because there's a middle ground, right? I think you could talk about objective best, and you could talk about what is potentially better for you to do all the time, and then kind of trying to find the middle ground. So let's pretend like this is the angle we're trying to swing here. I would say objective best when you scale on this would be to trace the whole time. The reason why it is objective best is because if you do end up getting swung, you will be able to react a little bit better and go for that kill. And that could have been what would have happened if this jet actually ends up swinging out far left instead of scaling out, right? Like pretend like this guy was swinging out left side here and our crosshair's in the box. We could get caught here, which obviously isn't super ideal. So the way you would try to account for that is by having your crosshair like on a gap on the edge here. And then how do you kind of find the middle ground with that versus the whole resetting thing that we kind of saw from these other clips from Zekin and then these other 3 pros, where they kind of just jitter their mouse across here as they're kind of walking around and just resetting constantly. And what I will say here is that if you're kind of going with this, I'm exaggerating, it kind of looks crazy, but I would say if you're going to do this like pre-aim pickup, don't actually pre-aim too deep. Just try to keep it on the edge so that by the time your next reset goes down, like you're finishing your movement and you end it, your crosshair actually ends up like away from the wall. Basically what I'm trying to say is instead of pre-aiming this deep, if you're going to do the reset pickup, pre-aim here instead. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. I am very, very deep there.
Okay, so let's keep going here. I know that was kind of a lot, but also a little at the same time. Get the 2 kills here. Okay, so let's see this last one here, which not really peeking technique, but I just want to see it. Okay, so obviously we weren't expecting the third, it looks like. Otherwise we might have reloaded and tucked into cover.
Yeah, that was silly.
But okay. We won't hang up too much on that. Let's see next rounds.
Guns.
Oh, that guy actually jiggle peeked us. Okay. Speed up a little bit. Looking for the next gun duel here. Oh, this guy is fucking, he's fast. I'm actually surprised that guy is there. That guy is quick.
I was quick. I was not exactly expecting him to be there that quickly.
Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at these peaks here. Fuck. Twitch wise always good 10 seconds to catch me off guard. Okay, let's see. Cream, peak, cream, peak. That's good. I think this is definitely on what I would like to see. We're making sure we pre-aim first. We peaked and stopped on the angle, and then we did the pre-aim, and then for the next one, it stopped here. So that was good. Obviously, he's closer, but we go for the adjustment. And yeah, I like those first 2 peaks garage. That looks good. Let's see. That guy's an idiot. Good kill. Could be looking for another fight here. Let's see. Yeah, let's go back and take a look at these peaks. Looks like the first one might have been a little bit off.
Down outside A.
Not slightly, but that's okay. We jiggled it.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, wow, that actually. They got completely shit on their gun round. Go team, go. Okay. Let's see, next gun duel.
It's gonna be slightly late. I'll have to be.
Yeah, let's see.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, we didn't get any gun duels.
Yeah, I don't see anybody this round, I don't think.
Next. You do get a fight here. Let's see.
Drop in a smoke.
Okay. I think this is fine actually. If you were playing a different agent, you could go more wide left, but crosshair placement's wide, which is good. We are AD spamming, so this makes it a little bit easier for us. We are on the common angle, so it also makes it somewhat easy for him. But I don't mind it. Yeah, I think this is fine. Nice shot by him. But I didn't realize we were the rest. Let's see. Okay, frame obviously was a bit high here, but it's kind of hard to get this info. So we're peeking for this. We end up going a bit wide. Okay. Yeah, that's an awkward position. Let me switch to Clove really quick.
Yeah, I honestly just thought they'd be a little further up by that point.
Like chasing you, yeah.
Yeah.
That is one of the things about peeking that is really important, is having the info to go for a wide swing, right? So like, if I'm fighting this angle here, it's fine because it's just the one angle here. But if I wide swing here, but he ends up being here, it's really sucky. So I think you know this intuitively, but for those potentially watching, you have the option of wide swinging, seeing a guy, and then correcting, which is kind of what we did here. And then the alternative would be just a pre-aim and peek. And then this second scenario obviously is better. So traditionally, it's recommended to not go for a wide swing until you know for certain that there is a player there, so that you can pre-aim it properly and go for the wide swing. So in this case here, if we didn't know that, we might swing out and then try to stop it, like slice it early before we expose, or we would jiggle if we wanted to kind of go for it to gather that info and then get that info and go for the pre-aim. This scenario is obviously hard to pull that off just because it's so chaotic, but this is where the best mechanical players can do those small tidbits of nuance in situations like this, in knowing when to go for the jiggle. Something that you could do with this smoke in particular, that some people do better, or do specifically, not do better, is instead of swinging out on this left side here, a lot of people actually go through the right side to isolate, and then from here they can slice it a bit better.
That's something that like I typically do when I am playing like graffiti, you know, just walk through on that side, and that feels super intuitive.
Keep going though. The fight so far look, I would say, pretty good.
Oh, you changed your sense.
I like more than half my sense.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Get out of my way.
Let's see, nothing window yet. Yeah, there he is.
Oh, you
This
changed
guy actually
your
swings
sense.
late as
I
fuck.
like more than half my sense.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Get out of my way.
Yeah, wow. After 5 seconds, I would have looked at mini map too.
B window.
Yep. Reposition,
Grudge.
No begin.
smoke.
Jumping out window.
Yeah, we get a fight here.
The jet is through behind you.
Wow, that guy didn't even clear us.
Last player.
Okay, this was actually pretty good. Crosshair placement could have maybe been a little bit more wider left when you're holding the smoke. So after you break the drone here, crosshair should try to be here, which you do end up adjusting in a second, you'll see. But it's still in the smoke. Get it here if you can. It's really important that you always are holding edges of smokes and not the center. This is true even if you're in front of the smoke. Let's say I am
Drop in a smoke.
holding like this, hold the edge. If I'm here, pick an edge like this instead of holding here. Always pick an edge of the smoke.
Yep.
Get the kill after an adjustment. We probably would have gotten the insta kill if we didn't have to do the adjustment, or at least the adjustment would have been easier, in which case you probably would have had more time to go for this kill here.
Players.
What I do want to point out is our strafe. This is very minor, but we get the first kill here, and then you immediately go into the strafe. Boom, that's good. But notice how you actually cancel your strafe pretty early once you saw his first bullet. You kind of want to exaggerate your second strafe a little bit
The jet is through behind you.
to give yourself more time to read the situation. So let me slow it down a little bit. You strafe, he shoots. Your brain picked that up automatically, and then you started stopping and going for the spray. What could happen instead is
No peeking.
you get the kill. That's not the same smoke, but you get the kill, and then you strafe, and then he shoots, and then now you line up the shot. And this is like more of a traditional pop and swing. Give yourself an extra quarter of a second than you think you would need to when you're going for these strafes.
Yeah, totally. I have a bad habit of doing really short strafes.
And it's something that honestly I have a problem doing too. I don't know if you've seen some of Poppin's gameplay, but when he actually swings, like pretend like you're Poppin right now, you would get that first kill and then shoot another bullet, like another burst, trying to make this Reyna sit down and then actually go. Like he's faking this Reyna out by making it, because like people react to the audio cue in terms of when they stop strafing more than their visual cue, if that makes sense. So in your case, you actually stopped almost directly after their Reyna shot at us, and it's because this is how people have learned to stop, because like I think as humans we register sound quicker than visual. But you'll see as soon as he shot his first bullet, we just immediately stopped. And if you're looking at the camera or the character animations, if I got rid of the sound, it's actually very hard to tell that the Reyna is stopping here. Like you'll see. When he's going out, boom, and then we're stopping. It's very hard because you almost committed your stop at the same time that he committed it visually, but sound-wise, we had it like a quarter of a second earlier. So what is my point? My point is that if you can train yourself to not react to his gunshot to force you to stop, but instead have your own internal timer on when to stop, or like your own intuition, getting the multi-frag in these type of situations is a bit nicer. That makes sense.
Yep.
But I think overall, I like that you're playing up front there. the crosshair placement issue to fix there is just make sure you hold the edge of the smokes. Preem is a bit deep on this angle here as well, on this grass angle.
Drop in a smoke.
You normally don't have to hold this wide. You want to peek this angle first here. So the habit we're seeing so far in terms of peeking is our preem tends to be pretty deep, and we're not actually clearing the first angle as well as we could be. See what ends up happening. Not kill this idiot. Good.
That guy dumb as fuck.
Yep, that guy is dumb as fuck.
I should have tried.
One more mid.
The guy mid. You should have a timing here with the jet. Okay. Looks like that those drills. Those drills are coming in. We're killing the guy close left. Let's go.
Planted.
We spent like 30 minutes doing that last week. So good kill here.
That's a kill.
One enemy
It's good wide swing on this guy. Let's see the crosshair placements.
Spike
I
planted.
didn't see the chamber.
Okay, so crosshair placement again is going pretty deep. We're skipping this angle here, as you can see. We're already here. That's definitely something to keep in mind in this week. Try not to skip too many angles. It ends up working out for us because he's not looking at us. But that is something to keep in mind. We are skipping
Mid.
these angles here. And we should just win this though, right? Yeah, okay.
No, he did. No, he already did it. I was like, my jet should be behind you.
See, next.
You want to play? Let's play.
Okay, so same thing with the deep preem. Technically, if you walked out on the left side of this wall too, you had a better timing. Just so you know for the future. Walking out mid from this right side, you lose the angle. That's why he's already here. You come out on this left side here, you get the angle a lot quicker.
Yeah, I'm not used to that fight whatsoever.
Great fight to go for though. I'm glad to see you going for it. But yeah, preem you can see is deep. It's not that deep to be honest. This is kind of what we were talking about earlier with the resetting. But this is probably more so the starting position rather than anything here.
Oh, I suck.
But I do like to see where we're going for that. Let's keep going. Rotate A.
Nice.
Smoke.
Drop in a smoke.
Okay.
Have one of these.
This guy's drone. Okay, crosshair placement is good. It's on the edge here. All three long. Run through. We should preem the guy here. Looks like we're not looking at minimap. Gotta kill the Sova first here. Yep. You
I was
see
looking for the Reyna.
Yeah. So it seems like we have a bias to hunt the deeper angle a lot of the time, rather than like picturing the open space. So that's something definitely to work on, but you can see if we get caught from it. Let's see if we take a look at minimap. So I'm going to be looking at this, looking at our eyeballs. Yeah, we checked it here. So we did actually see it, but yeah, we're just hunting the
I
corner.
thought you still in the
Enemy
corner.
remaining.
So yeah, so that's definitely a subtle thing, but it's very important to know. And actually, hindsight, we actually got the info that this was aftershock. But regardless, even if the aftershock isn't there, just know the order of operations in terms of angles, right? You have to hard clear this and expose to two. It's obvious in hindsight, but just hold this first, kill this player before hunting this angle. Always better to do it that way. But definitely showing a bias with the preem thing in the way we pick fights to go for the deeper one and ignoring the open one. Okay, this is fine. I like that we go a bit wider just because holding the common angle is a bit harder. Obviously, it's a bit nicer to do when you're playing Jet, but adjustment's good here. Let's see what happens after. Yeah, it's just good trade timing from them. Do we have time to go for a wider strafe? Yeah, we did. So we're kind of like what we talked about before. You have the tendency to do the short strafes after you get that first kill. You want to exaggerate your second one to keep alive. So we end up getting this first shot, strafe to the side, kill the chamber, but then we took one side step, like literally just one. What we want to do instead is we kill the chamber and then you want to go wide to tuck, or you kill the chamber, go wide, buy time to get the second. So to see that one more time, after the chamber, we want a wider step and not the micro step here. And that slight micro stop is what got us killed there. So we can drill that today as well. Let me write some of this down so I don't forget. Framing too deep, and then strafe wider after first kill. Smoke edges and boxes. Pretty much just edges.
Grounded.
Smoke, smoke.
Drop in a smoke.
Okay.
So we're back to this.
Paying attention to crosshair placement here.
Enemy kill.
Okay, so we didn't really have to do much here, but I'd want us to clear the backside angle a little bit better. This one here. Clear this one a little bit better. Which this is probably like a mouse pickup problem, but
So we're back to this.
as we're coming around this angle here, we should already be either full clearing the plant angle or full clearing this backside angle. Which I do want to go ahead and say, like, I'm pointing all this stuff out, but I'm not expecting us to be 100% perfect all the time. But at least 80% of the time. So like, full clear this. If you skipped plant, that would be fine. Or like full clear this when you're coming out. So would have just liked to see a better clear here, but we didn't actually clear either. We kind of just skipped both and then wide swung for the spawn smoke.
I figured there wasn't anybody here at this point.
Yeah, and that's the thing I want us to rewrite, making sure that we're as thorough as we can.
Okay.
So,
That is a terrible CT smoke.
Org is a student. I believe we're plat 3 at this moment. Plat 2, plat 3. Let's see these
I swing off you.
clears. Gotcha, plat 3. Let's see. Want to see the preem first? Okay, yeah, preem. Good. Okay. Looks good to me. Holy shit, that mid walk down. Wait, was he actually still in B? Okay. Yeah, he was. Okay, let's see the garage contact here. Oh, the B contact either or. Oh, these guys are the fucking goats. See this one more time. So we could have kept pushing garage here for the Reyna kill, but we go back for the B kill here. Crosshair placements here. Peek out. Then we're kind of getting caught. It looks fine at first glance, but technically we kind of skipped the angle a little bit, like skipped to 1.
Yo, what?
So you'll see here, we kind of go for this preem deep here instead of clearing this angle on the next strafe. So you'll see we could be clearing, like our crosshair could be here right now, and then on the next angle clear, I speed it up again. We should be clearing this corner here, but we're not. We're opting for this next one here. And let me explain a little bit more. The concept is, if you're further away, the distance that your peak takes you is less relative to the angle. So you inherently have to clear more thoroughly. Whereas if you're closer, you clear more angles with one strafe, right? Like if I'm going one strafe here, I end up opening up a lot more, which is why it's also harder to slice angles, but it's also why it's more acceptable to preem deeper. Does that make sense?
Yep, totally.
I'm trying to think how we drill that. I guess it kind of goes back to the first point though, is that we are preeming a bit more deeply. But we have to now appreciate the nuance of being far away from the angle versus closer. Because if I'm here, I want to peek spawn, I could technically slice it 3 times before I peek in the spawn. Like 1, 2, 3. But if I'm going for the preem wide here, I'm peeking directly into spawn. I'm skipping all of these off angles, which is kind of what we did that mid walk down. I'll think about that a little bit more.
Yeah, okay. They're cheating.
Let's keep going. We're cheating. report. Yeah, eco round here. Nice, good tap. That guy's an idiot.
No way we're that dumb.
I'm only this.
Planted.
Okay, pick
He's
up
hit.
gun.
Never mind.
Good strafe.
I lied.
He was A short before, right?
Yeah, we should win this.
Just swing off Viper.
Thirsty.
Oh, that
Wow.
works too.
All hacks, I'm down.
What?
Okay, good rounds.
Let's smoke your C window.
Drop in a smoke.
Here, copy.
Okay. Angle slices, let's take a look.
Drop in a smoke.
On first glance, it did look good. Let's slow it down. Did plat. The
Copy.
second one was kind of like, okay, the first slice looks good. Looks like we're going for the plat angle. The second slice kind of doesn't really look like what angle we're picking, and then the third slice looks good again. So first one here, we're picking plat. Second one, kind of like somewhere in the open. So that one could be cleaner, and then the third one we go back for this default angle here. In terms of exposing the angle, obviously we could do it a little bit cleaner, but like I guess you could do very tight here, then you could do like second one here, and then you can do third one here. Like that could be a little bit cleaner if we're really trying to look at it. That would be nice, I guess. do the first one, do the second one, do the third one, but it looks like a fast split here, so I don't mind that it's a bit lazier in that sense. I just want to make sure that when you go for the angle clear, it's actually like you're clearing an angle. So like we went for this first one here, and then you went for the second, and the second one was kind of up here. So fixing that crosshair placement to at least get to this box would be ideal. Boom, boom. And then from here, continuing to clear default. Again, I'm being a stickler on purpose, just because we're only looking at mechs here. But going back to the perfection argument, as long as we're 80% of the way there, it's what we want. Wow, we have sight. Holy shit, no one's on C? Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Hold up. Just kidding. There's a guy on C.
Oh my god.
I was about to say.
Hey, our jet peeked sight though. Oh, he didn't full peek it. Yeah,
I was very surprised that there was a guy plat. Especially
yeah,
because my breach got to logs, and I was like, oh.
he did. And he cleared back sight too. That's crazy.
Hell yeah.
Holy shit.
God.
I was about to say. No way we don't see that.
Spike planted.
All good. Yeah, let's see. You got any fights here? This guy just got two with the Bucky?
Remaining.
Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Spike planted.
like I said, the quality of the games just like plummeted
One enemy
once you got into
remaining.
last week. How is my jet getting spawned with a Bucky? No way we
Killing three.
Contact.
Yeah, that's insane. Let's take a look at this B fight here. So, I don't know if we had the read that he was garage, but
Enemy remaining.
I heard him jump up actually. I think. Yeah. Gonna say maybe.
Yeah.
We did do the crouch peek there too. Crosshair placement looks pretty good.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, he made a step there.
Oh, we got a Bucky back.
Nice.
Well done.
Drop in a smoke.
Okay, so the first peek in the corner was decent. Flick back to default puts our crosshair pretty low. This is something to work on too, angle snapping to the next one. And we don't actually adjust it back up. We're going deeper into the box. So it seems like you're adjusting it horizontally, but not vertically. So if I slow it down a little bit, again, let me highlight the crosshair because it's kind of hard to see sometimes. So we adjust it left into the box instead of up and on the edge of the box, or at least on this side here. So again, the whole preaiming thing is coming back up. And then when he pops up, we actually preaimed again deeper. And then we're going again, and then we get the kill. So definitely something to think about. There's some inefficiencies there. Ooh, that was really close. I want to see that at normal speed.
Target down. My ult is ready.
I see. When the jet smoke comes up, we need to immediately go to the edge of the smoke.
Yeah.
So boom, come out. Jet smoke comes up. He starts strafing. Our crosshair then needs to boom, jump here. After that, our first spam goes here. And then we'd be able to get this kill a little bit easier instead of going for the micro here and then falling short. So obviously if our flick was a little bit better, that we could make up for that, but that's also something you can work on crosshair placement wise. That will be easy enough to drill. Okay. Let's hop into a custom. Back to the Haven drills, baby. Okay. Let's see, which one should we do first? Probably the pre-aiming deep one. And the way we could do that probably is you pretend to be the attacker and I'll be the defender and I'll be backside. So let me go backside A and you go A long. And then you can go close breaks as well, like here.
Yeah.
Pretend like you're attacking me. I will smoke long and you run through the smoke. And then just try to kill me backside. I'll just be holding an off angle and I'll be looking at your screen. And try to keep your crosshair not too far pre-aimed into the box. Just go in it whenever you're ready.
Sure.
Okay, so that pre-aim was not too bad, actually. It's not too bad. Let's I'm gonna pick a different off angle behind the box, but just go again. I'll smoke again.
Drop in a smoke.
Okay, that looks good. That looks good. Let's do it on the other side of the box. Come from short. And then I'll do the short smoke, but I'll also be backside again, just holding an off angle. Okay, go for it. Maybe peek spawn as well or something. Okay, so that one was deep. Let's do that one again. I'll be in the same spot. Yeah, maybe come out. And that pre-aim is deep again, so try to keep that slightly more towards the edge.
Smoke.
Go again. Yeah, that one looks better. Go again. That looks good. That looks good. If we can able to maintain that for the other sides, that'll be good. Let's fire over to C and do the same shit. Yeah, so I want you to come out of this smoke on the left here and peeking just the backside angle here. I'll smoke garage as well, actually. I'm just gonna hold off angle backside. And whenever you're ready.
Dropping smokes.
Yeah, that's good. That is good. Run through it again. Yeah, that's good. That is good. Okay, let's run through that long scenario where top C is smoked and I'm back plat and you're going through the edge. That does look better. Then continue going. Okay, so do that same peek. I'm gonna go on the backside angle. Smoke yourself again, and you clear that box angle and then come out and clear me backside. Yeah, that's good. Okay. That looks good. Crosshair placement is on the edge there. We're cooking. Let's do that mid walk down one with a pre-aim thing. Okay, go for it. Okay, so we could probably do that a little bit tighter.
Okay. Oh, well, I went wider.
Yeah, tighter. Boop, boop. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Reset. Do it again. Yeah, let me pick a new angle. Go for it.
Oh, I missed, but yeah.
Yeah. The only reason why we're missing, by the way, is because you're shooting so quick. If you literally give it like a quarter of a second, you'll be chilling.
This always, like, these tight, like, ones always feel super uncomfortable. Like, I always am worried that I'm gonna, like, angle myself, you know?
You might. That is a valid concern. Sometimes you will angle yourself. That's kind of why I like to do crouch peeks sometimes.
Why is that one harder?
Yeah, keep doing it. Make sure they're tight, nice and tight. Yeah, that looks better. I'm gonna go on the angle again, and you can kill me.
Okay.
Yeah, looks good. Sometimes you'll see my shoulder first, which is fine. Let me do that. What you just did. I'm gonna shoot as soon as you see me. All right, see you.
Oh,
Yeah, so
you
we
see me first.
we both see shoulder, but let's see. Just do that cadence. I'm gonna try to kill you. You try to kill me.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's pretty even, unironically, because like your shoulder appears, and then I can't get the headshot. So go again.
I see.
Yeah. I'm gonna be ADing this angle now, and I want you to one bullet me. Okay. Do that again. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Okay, so what did we have next to drill? Aiming too deep, strafe wider after first kill. Okay, we could. How do we simulate this? Did anyone chat online? Volunteer say, yeah, we need someone from NA to recreate this drill. Recluse. Okay, yeah, we got someone. Perfect. So Recluse, when you come out, you're gonna swing here for this corner, and you're gonna kind of go this way. Yeah.
Okay, like I'm clearing that.
Yeah, you're clearing that angle. Yeah. And you just say in the voice comms when you're going, and I'll be right next to you.
Heard.
Okay, go ahead and drop the smokes. Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Go.
Well, I whiffed.
Okay, hold on. My mouse went back out. Okay, try it again. All good.
Ready?
Yep.
I'm good when he is. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Keep going.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
Go.
Good.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god.
The wide swing OP.
Ah, he still got us both. Nice.
Wide swing, but.
Yeah, wide swing stuff.
Oh, what is that?
All right, you ready?
Okay, ready? Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna go back and take a look at a couple of these.
Oh my god.
Yeah, good movement on that one. Okay, let's go next. Line up, W. Yeah, good strafe. Again. Yep, good movement. Unfortunately, we didn't get the kill, but that will happen. Auto respawn to be off. Back one more. Yeah, okay, that looks better. We're looking good. We're looking good. That's the focus for this week. Let me word this better. Currently pre-aiming too deep. Let's work on moving our pre-aim slightly closer to the edge or on the edge. This is most applicable around boxes and smokes. Crosshair placement on away from the smoke, always. And then strafe wider after first kill. Yeah, I think that's in multi-frag scenarios. I think defense. Yeah, I think that's straightforward.
Totally.
Next week, we'll obviously check back in on this. Continue with the Clove Inslok vibe. Hopefully, teams are better quality with the new ranked act. But again, focus still is on the mechanics until it's as clean as possible. And once we feel good about that, we can transition back to the initiator once we reach that point.
Sounds good.
Cool. Any questions, comments, concerns for me?
No, I don't think so. I think everything is good.
Cool. Well, yeah. Other than that, we'll check back in next week, and hopefully we are looking very clean. The goal, very clean and efficient. All right, Pixel, you take care, man.
You as well. Thanks.
Of course, later.